Do you add some weight to your body, or?
Yeah, I had a couple pounds of muscle. Short summer, which is good. We went pretty far in the playoffs last year, so just took a couple weeks off and then right back into it. So it was really good.
How big will be the impact this year because of the very good season that you guys had as a group in Laval last year?
Yeah, anytime a team has success, it's really good for the individual. So again, went really far last year, learned a lot from the older guys, and it's always fun making a run at it. And unfortunately, came up short, but learned a lot of lessons. So it was really good.
You talk about making a way to the Montreal Canadiens. What's the X factor you think you can bring to the team?
I think just physical and bringing that gritty component to the lineup. When I'm on the ice, I want to be noticed, and I want guys to kind of second guess when they're going back for pucks, or if they have the puck on their stick, and I'm in the forecheck. So again, using my speed, I got a little bit bigger this offseason, and stick to my strengths. Playing from the net, crushing net, and be a big power forward.
Any role model in the NHL or going?
It was a high ankle sprain. It was probably like 2 months I was out. So yeah, a little unfortunate, but that's hockey. No excuses. It happened, but yeah, it was a good time. I had a little rest and had a lot of stuff to think about during that time and go through a lot of adversity. But it made me mentally stronger, I would say.
Shoulder too, right?
Yeah, it was shoulder, but it was just a small thing. I would say it was like a week and a half, maybe.
Did you feel like it kind of derailed your season?
Yeah, I had a good start to the season. Felt really good on the ice. I would say the injury came the worst time possible, but like I said, no excuses. That's hockey. It happened, and I'm not the first player, and I'm not the last player who got injured. So it's all past, and now I just want to focus on the present.
And how was your summer like? Did you try to put on some weight? What was the goal over the summer?
Yeah, a little bit of weight, and we had a couple of things in the gym, more dynamic stuff, more conditioning, and I feel good on the ice right now. So hopefully it's going to be without injuries this year, and if I can stay healthy, I know that I can prove something, and I know what I can do on the ice.
Did you get to spend some time with the
know what to expect and like what to practice for, so helped me a lot. Kind of knew the environment right now where I step in, and everything is way easier now.
How do you see the battle for a spot in Montreal?
Sorry?
How do you see the battle with other players or spots available?
I mean, it's part of hockey, and of course I like there's battle, and nothing is free, and that's why I like the sport.
Do you think there's an opening there for a forward?
I think so, but like just try to focus myself on camp, play really good, and don't want to give them any excuse to send down.
What were you able to improve this summer? What do you think you'll be able to do better this year?
I just try to improve like a whole set, but like focus more on details, especially on the ice. So, like things happening fast, so try to improve those things and like getting more prepared on those and more ready.
You had NHL games under your belt, AHL, you back in your country too. Would you say that you had really bigger experience overall of this game today compared to last year?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I see all those leagues, and I know what's like how things works now here, so I'm well prepared than last year, so don't have to worry about those things, and I know the guys already, so it's way easier to step in.
How is it to play with Demidov in this camp so far?
It's fun. He's a great player, so it's pretty easy to play with him. Just talk more things and get ready for tomorrow.
However, how do you see you at your peak in the NHL? What will be your role?
Just be a trustful player. Our coach can put on the ice in every situation and play power play, PK, 5-on-5 and those stuff. I think that's my strength, what I've been doing like all my pro career, and I want to keep on that.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How was your summer training? Did you change anything this year?
No, similar routine. You know, I was just trying to, dial in some eating habits for the most part. But I stayed in the gym 5 days a week and on the ice pretty much throughout the summer, 4 to 5 days a week as well. So nothing much changed. Just really tried to hone in on the little details this year.
Your draft year was in 2022. Do you feel that this year could be your year in the NHL, and why?
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously the goal, and I'm just kind of looking to come in and have a good camp, just put on my best showing, and I feel really good with where I'm at physically. So I think I've given myself a pretty good opportunity to show what I can bring.
What did you learn from last year, especially in Laval?
Yeah, in Laval, I mean, it's super competitive. Everybody's fighting for a job day in and day out. I mean, like you're going to practice with all your friends, like all your teammates, but at the same time, they're also partially your competition because everybody's working to get to the next level. So yeah, I mean, in that sense, you just learn that you can't take a day off. And then just at the National Hockey League level, I mean, it's awesome to get called up, but you can. You do anything you can to keep the spot, but it's it's a hard job every day, and you can't take a shift off. So similar thing. I mean, it's so competitive in the sport, so I think that's the biggest takeaway from my first pro year.
What do the Canadiens wanted you to work on this summer, especially?
Yeah, I think just puck management, playing with physicality, bringing energy. I think just making smart decisions, smart reads, knowing when to make a play, knowing when to just kind of get the puck in and get on the forecheck. And yeah, really, I think just the biggest thing was just puck management and reading the game.
Where do you think you fit in with this organization? Where do you think your future is?
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm just focused on getting a spot. I'm not trying to look too far down the road. Obviously, there's a good core right now, so I'm just trying to, find a spot. Whether that's third or fourth line, kind of bottom 6 minutes. I've been a penalty kill guy in the past, so I just want to be, relied upon defensively and be a trustworthy player and be able to impact the game on that end.
You played on the wing a couple times last year. Just how did you feel about that?
Yeah, it was good. I enjoy having that in my toolbox. Honestly, until last year, I hadn't played any wing at all, really. So I think my first call-up was the first time I actually played on the wing, so that was a little bit nerve-wracking, but I guess no better place to learn than at the highest level. So yeah, as that kind of continued on later in the year, I felt pretty comfortable with it, and if that's where I can be utilized, then I'm looking forward to that opportunity.
You had a great first camp when you came in after your draft year. Do you remember that, and is that something you can draw from this year?
Yeah, I think when I think back on that, there wasn't anything that necessarily stood out to me, and I think that's the biggest key for me is just kind of keeping it simple, not overthinking things, kind of just making, my first read and trusting it, believing that's the best option for me, and I think just, playing it simple. Again, I mentioned the puck management. I think that's, a big part of that is not overcomplicating things, and, that's what I'm going to focus on this camp.
Pascal Vincent was saying that it's about, to get to the next level, it's about what you can do that's special, that makes you unique. What do you feel you can bring that's maybe unique?
Yeah, I've talked with Pascal a fair bit about this, and I've always, I guess, tried to give him an in-depth answer, but the thing he's always told me is just use my skating, use it all over the ice in transition, even in the offensive zone to create space, not getting beat on the defensive end. I think that's at my core, I think that's probably my best asset. I know I can shoot the puck as well, but yeah, I think skating at its core is definitely my strongest asset, and I look to use that all over the ice.
After that great camp in 22, do you feel you put too much pressure on yourself maybe in the subsequent years? Last year and the year before?
Yeah, I probably think so. I think, you kind of come in, you don't know what to expect, and, I didn't have many expectations that first year, and, obviously that turned out really well for me. So I came back and, probably, had my sights set a little high for my understanding of, what the NHL is. It's an incredibly hard league to crack, and especially to hold on to a spot. So I think that's, I might have set my expectations a little bit too high at that point, but I think just as experience, is gained, I think that you get a better understanding of where you're at and how you feel, and I think I'm feeling pretty ready, like I said, just physically, and feeling like I can give myself a good shot.
If you have to return to Laval, is there any benefit to that for you?
Yeah, for sure. There's always learning to do. Again, it's just I can go out and put on the camp that I can show to the management. And I think whatever decision they feel is right for me, then obviously there's definitely some benefit to going back and learning. It's pro hockey down at that level. Again, everybody's super hungry. You learn a lot in that league, and I think I did last year. So again, there's always room for improvement, and if that's the case, then
do you have to stand out if you go back there?
I think you stand out in places that they're looking for growth. Again, you can go back and put up, a point per game in the American League, but that's not necessarily what's being asked of you when you make the jump to the next level. So I think, I think they just want to see growth more than, they know us as players. They've seen us for years now. I think they just want to see growth when you go back to that stage, and just working on yourself every day to
what
get
does
back.
growth mean to you?
Just finding areas of improvement, and kind of working at them tirelessly, not getting frustrated. Obviously, there are a lot of things you can do that you're good at, things that you can work on that make you feel good, but I think you really got to get out of your comfort zone and push yourself to improve in the areas that you're not quite as strong.
Regarding things translating at the upper level, I think this organization makes a point of speaking to you guys about what your career could look like or what your role could look like at the NHL level. And it's hard for some guys who have been top-line centers their whole lives to be a third-line defensive guy or whatever. How much has that conversation happened with you? How do you see that transition in terms of what role you could envision yourself playing at the highest level?
Yeah, I think that's always been something that's been talked about when, either you're getting, released from a camp when you're in junior. They always tell you what they're looking for when you go back and into junior. Last year it was kind of what they're looking for at the pro level. When you get called up, you play a couple games, and if they have a conversation with you when sending you down, then again they tell you what they're looking for. Maybe what could have been better, things that went well. So I think I think they give you a good idea of where they see you, and at that point it's just on the player to improve and be that guy down the road.
Where do you see yourself?
Yeah, as I mentioned, right now I can't look too far in the future. I can see myself as a Swiss Army knife guy, but I think in the short term I would see myself as a bottom six guy who can play a reliable and smart game. Be relied upon in the defensive zone no matter who's on the ice. Being a guy who can win draws, that's always been a strength of mine. I think I've penalty killed in the past and can be of service in that regard as well. So those are all things that I'm looking to to bring.
How do you hold?
When Dvorak moved to Philly, did you tell to yourself that it could be an open gate for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's always going to be changes year to year, even within the season. So, again, you just got to do what you can to, try and fill that spot for the team. Whatever opportunity is there, I'm willing to, try and step into that role and, again, mold my game in whatever way is necessary to just, be at that level.
So how do you
As last year, you know, I'm coming out here to showcase myself, but also coming out here to showcase how I can work together, like with my teammates and stuff. So just coming out, play my game, don't try and do anything too special, and just, you know, have fun.
Am I wrong, or you look bigger than last year?
Yeah. Since this time last year, I'm definitely quite a bit bigger, but you know, same message as last year. Just go out and play my game.
What's your weight currently?
Right now I'm around 230 pounds. So since this time last year, it's probably a 20-pound weight gain, I think.
That's not bad.
Give or take.
And it's not pizza, right?
No. This summer, you know, it was a typical, you know, just get faster, get stronger. So, you know, really dialed in my training this year and this summer.
Do you get a sense already from what does extra 20 pounds do to you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like it's, I feel like way harder to move off the puck, like especially in the corners and everything. I feel much stronger, and you know, I worked on a lot of skating this year, so I don't feel any slower anymore.
Just say you played that one game in Laval last year and hung around for during the playoff run. Just what kind of benefits do you feel this added to your preparation this summer? I
mean, I was able to see what it's like to play pros. You know, obviously those guys, they're men, and at that time I was playing, I still felt like a kid. So, you know, I got to see how they play, how they train, how they treat themselves. So I took that into my summer training.
At your best, how do you see you in the NHL? Do you think you will be more offensive, more defensive?
I mean, I think I have the capabilities to play the offensive side, but I feel like I'll be more of a, you know, 200-foot player, penalty kill guy, you know, a third, fourth line guy. That's how I see myself, and that's what I want to play. That's the, you know, the blocking shots. That's honestly, I think that's the best part of the game.
When you see a guy like Florian Jaga, is that like the kind of role model a bit for you? Or
yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a guy who I could see myself playing like that. Obviously, there's a difference between us. Yeah. There's a couple differences, but that's a guy who he's mastered that, you know, third, fourth line role. You know, I mean, 24 goals last year with 180 PIMs. That's a crazy stat line. So obviously, that's a guy I could see myself playing like.
Is it difficult for you to do that transition? I mean,